Thank you very much. I'm Michael, and that's maybe a more impressive title than the actually application, but it's more like for beginners and intermediate Meteor developers. And I wanted to give you an insight about how to build a more flexible and module-based Meteor application. And basically, the idea for my side project was like to publish and distribute content music. So music itself that I mainly listen on SoundCloud because I listen to music all the day long when I'm working or whatever in my free time. And I create that basically anyway. So I just browse along and I star and comment on things. So the initial idea was like to build something that will scrape through the SoundCloud API like my activities and the activities of some friends, so other user profiles, and to automatically publish that, to distribute basically. So I was trying to build a Meteor application, which is like scraping to these SoundCloud profiles. So I was using a self-recalling queue, basically, instead of a cron job, because I wanted to have like a delay of 5 minutes or 10 minutes after each queue process was finished. And as I don't know how long it takes, and maybe there are more users or whatever. So then I wanted to distribute that to Facebook and Twitter, ideally when there was a new song detected, basically. So I pushed all the information into MongoDB, so every time I get some new data from SoundCloud, it's pushed into MongoDB, and then I check, okay, publish that or not. And in the front end, I simply have like my Meteor front end where I have like my mini MongoDB in the front end, which is automatically synced with the backend, ideally. So nothing to do, basically. If there's a new song detected by the cron job, it's already there. That's the idea. So actually, I'm using a Mediator. Maybe some of you know what it is. I try to use a logging system and a config file because I want to store my API keys and everything, all the information I need for the cron jobs somewhere in a config file. So I built like a small package, a YAML config file package. It's on Atmosphere, but I will show you in a second. So just talking a bit about the technical layout. Actually, I was starting to use private app packages. How many of you have used private packages already in their systems? Maybe hands up. So not that many, like 5 people. So yeah, I started with that as well because I wanted to build something more reliable, and I also want to reuse these packages in other Meteor applications. So I built like these 4, like this cron job itself, like a phrase generator, because when I publish like some content on Facebook or Twitter, I want to have like a human fake sentence kind of thing. And well, the 2 publishing packages, basically. So I was going to build these packages with the revealing module pattern. If you ever heard about that, there's a very nice ebook online from Eddie Osmani. And you should check it out if you don't know what it is. A quick introduction. So like in JavaScript, that's the beauty of Meteor, actually. Like Meteor is more like an infrastructure and like in a city, for example. And what kind of houses you build and how you connect them, that's pretty much up to you. So you can do everything what you want in JavaScript and Meteor. And I'm trying to use that module pattern in my packages, basically. And then I expose like my package name, in this example, my revealing module, and I use it in my application. So the idea was like to have these packages working independent. They shouldn't know about the application, and they shouldn't talk to each other directly, because that should be done by the application itself, the Meteor application. So I was talking earlier about the Mediator because I want to communicate that the packages will actually communicate somehow with each other. So I connect them by a Mediator. A Mediator is simply someone who will get some information and distribute it to certain endpoints, basically. And then something will happen. Here's a very quick example. Where you subscribe to an event, and then the Mediator will publish that event, and so you can obviously have multiple subscriptions to an event. So a basic example, when the cron job was finished, I will publish an event, and then my application knows, okay, in my private package, the cron job was finished. And then I can do certain other things, I don't know. Or a new song was detected, so I can publish it on Facebook or whatever. How to use NPM packages in my private package. So maybe you have seen that. You will need a config file for your package where you describe what kind of files you will include and what of dependencies you got. And that's basically something like that. And there you see like api.export, Facebook post this. It's just my variable name, which I can use in my main application then to work on. I was talking about the settings and the logger. So I wrote a little package because I worked recently or last year with Symfony 2 a lot. And I like the YAML config files there. And so I built something like that, very simple, where you can just create, first step, a YAML file in the private folder of your Meteor application. And then you can read out these configs. I thought it's more reliable than the settings.json because that one is more environment dependent. So it's a different use case, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Then you can use it in your application, like to see. It's a bit small, maybe. Sorry. There you go. Then you can simply get these configs. OK. And a logging system is very handy because I want to store error logs like in an error file or something when something goes wrong with the cron job, basically. So I was deciding to use Winston. I think that's maybe the most advanced for Node.js. I don't know. And just to show you my structure in the application. So actually, I have a Klein folder where I have all the stuff. I have a library for common JavaScript. Sorry? Oh. Sorry. There you go. And OK, the library folder, the packages, they are my private packages. So the aggregation for the Facebook, for Twitter, my phrase generator, and the cron job itself. And there I have like the files and the packages, package.js, which you just saw. And then I have my private folder, which isn't published in any way or shouldn't be. And I have a config file for the server side where my API keys belong to. And on the server side in my application, I have like a cron job file, which will actually like use the cron job package basically and listen for events. And when a new song was detected, in here I will trigger an event to actually use, for example, the Twitter package, where I will simply tweet about it. So, and in the last step, I was trying to improve my deploy process. So I was using Meteor Up, and I'm hosting on DigitalOcean. It's quite cheap and reliable, I think. So it's very simple. I just use Meteor Up deploy if I have a new release or something, and I can also like easily restart my server with Meteor Up restart, and I don't have to log in with the SSH and do anything. Basically, it's a very handy way to deploy applications in Meteor.
Does it stop the app, or is it like zero downtime?
No, it actually stops the app so far. So. But if there's something going wrong with the restart, it will fire up the old version and not your buggy one. But if you want to have it like a fallback, I think it's not that major. Or is there anything? I don't know. So it's breaking the live version, surely. Yeah, that's basically it. If you have any questions.